They called him the architect of the future. He did not build walls to keep the world out. He built windows to see how much further he could go. But there is a hidden price to a house made of glass. When he was young, he lived in a small wooden cottage at the edge of the valley. It was not large, it was not impressive, but it was warm. The kitchen smelled of fresh bread. The bedroom walls held drawings his children had taped there. At night, light from a small lamp glowed softly through the curtains. It was enough. Then, one day, he achieved his first great success, a promotion, a new opportunity, a bigger future. He stood inside his cottage and thought, "I should let more light in." So he removed one wooden wall, the kitchen wall, and replaced it with a tall glass window. Now he could see the valley stretching further than before. The house felt brighter. He felt proud. And though the evenings grew slightly cooler, he barely noticed. Years passed. His successes multiplied. Each time he reached something new, he replaced another wall. The wall beside the dining table, gone. The wall where his children once leaned their bicycles, gone. The bedroom wall, replaced with glass so he could watch the sunrise and plan his next achievement. He told himself he was building a better life. More visibility, more openness, more light. The cottage slowly transformed. Wood disappeared. Glass expanded. The house no longer smelled like bread. It smelled like air. From outside, people admired it. "What vision," they said. "What ambition. He can see the entire valley from his living room." And it was true. He could see everything. The mountains in the distance, the roads winding toward the city, the lights flickering at night. He could see further than anyone else. But one evening, after replacing the final wooden wall, he stood in the center of his house and noticed something strange. It was quiet. Not peaceful quiet, empty quiet. The wind moved freely through unseen gaps. The air inside felt thin. The glass reflected his own image back at him, over and over again. He turned to call his family for dinner, but the table was gone. He turned toward the bedroom, but there were no drawings on the walls anymore. There were no walls, only windows. He could see the entire world outside, but inside there was nothing to hold warmth, nothing to hold memory, nothing to hold him. The valley below looked beautiful, but it felt far away. For the first time, he understood. In chasing what was beyond his home, he had removed what made it a home. He had mistaken light for warmth. He had mistaken vision for presence. He had mistaken expansion for connection. The next morning, he did not build. He did not plan. He did not look toward the mountains. Instead, he stood before one large glass panel and quietly hung a heavy curtain over it. The room dimmed. The wind softened. The silence changed. He found a wooden chair and placed it near what used to be the kitchen corner. He sat there for a long time. The valley was still outside. The future was still waiting. But for the first time in many years, he was not looking through a window. He was sitting within what remained of his home. He would never rebuild all the wooden walls. Some things, once replaced, do not return easily. But he learned to close the curtains at dusk. He learned to sit before the light faded. He learned that not every view needs to be chased. Some views are meant to be lived inside. And the valley continued to grow. The mountains remained. The roads still stretched forward. But the man who collected windows no longer needed to see all of it, because he finally understood that a house is not measured by how far you can see from it, but by how much warmth it can hold inside.